So you made up your mind that you want to go to Canada. Yeah, you want to migrate from your country. You want to move to Canada. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the things that you need if you're going to be moving to Canada, like the absolute things that you need. Okay, so we're going to divide these topic into three parts so that we don't have too long videos. So today we're going to be talking about majorly the things that you need when you make up your mind that you're going to Canada. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about the factors that can affect your moving to Canada, whether you're going to get it done or not. I'm going to divide it into two major factors. The first one is your intrapersonal factor. The first one is outside or factors outside of you. That's the factors that actually affect you to travel. I'm going to talk about your mental preparedness. I think that that's the most important thing if you're going to leave your country where you were born and everything and go to another country as a new person starting a new life. Okay, so first of all, you have to be ready to be patient because the journey can, for some people it can be really fast, but for some people it can take a long time, up to 6 months to 1 year, to get all the processing done. So you need to have patience. You need to calculate your timing. Don't rush. Don't be in a rush. Just get out of the country. I just want to leave this country. That's how people make mistakes, and that's how they get into situations that they shouldn't get into. Another thing that you need to do is you need to listen. When people who have been through the process talk to you, you need to listen. You need to sieve. In the how many short while that I've been helping and telling people about the Canadian immigration, the one thing that I realized is that because we're used to things being so difficult in Nigeria, some things that really shouldn't be as hard as it is. People want to stretch it out. They want to make it as difficult. So that's listen, learn to filter. Listening is important. And the number one, maybe I should have started with that in the first place, is you need to research. I'm going to add some links to this video. I'm not in any way affiliated to those links, but they were links that helped me in my search. I'll add someone's Twitter handle. He's really been helpful in this journey. I think like 90% of Nigerians who have migrated to Canada in the last 3 years will not be able to talk about their journey without talking about him. So I'm going to add his Twitter handle. Okay, so now let's talk about the things that affects you directly for the immigration process. Okay, so I'll also put the link for the CIC, the Canadian Immigration body. I'll put the link to your page. Okay, so before you want to start the Canadian immigration process, the first thing I usually advise people to do is go to the CRS calculator. The CRS calculator is a calculator that tells you about how the things that you have, the factors that affect, how they can directly impact your Canadian journey or not. I have some notes here so that we don't ramble on. Okay, so majorly the things that affect, the factors that affect you the most: your age, your English results, your academic qualification, your work experience. Your marital status is not really, it can be a bonus because your spouse can add up to 30 points to your points. The Canadian immigration system is a point-based system. Okay, so we're going to be, I'm focusing on the express entry because that's what I really know about. So I'm focusing on the express entry. It's a point-based system where you points are allotted to you depending on your age, your English results, your academic qualification, your work experience. If you have a spouse, your spouse's English results and work experience can also help. Now, the major things are your English results, your the major things are your English results, your I'm trying to make noise. Your English results. So your English results, your academic qualification, your age, your work experience. Now, for your English results, one of the things I'm going to tell you is that you already have an advantage as a Nigerian, that English is your first language. So what that means is that you just need to put in a little bit of extra effort to take the IELTS. Now, if you also are able to do French, is an added bonus because the two major languages that you can submit English test results for, that's English and for French. Now, if you're able to do the French exam and have good scores, awesome. We noticed in recent trends that the English results have been funny. British Council and one other body does it. I'll try and put the links down as well under the video. So British Council does it, and one other MOD or something, another body does it. So as I said before, you also need to be able to research. I'll also put my email down in the link, so if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, so once I'll put the link for the CRS calculator in the bottom of the video. What I want you to do is, first of all, go to the CRS calculator, input your data and see the scores that it gives you. I usually advise people to use a speculative score of a minimum of 7.5 in each of the English modules for the IELTS to simulate the CRS calculator and see what it gives you. You can then play around with it. I just want to tell you that the language examination is one of the greatest factors that will affect your point system. So you need to be ready. Somebody told me the other day that there are runs in English exam in Nigeria. I mean, I don't know anything about that one. I just think that you can study and you can pass the IELTS. And don't be discouraged if you don't pass it the first time. I know people who have written 7 times. There was actually a story of a couple, a husband and wife, who wrote the test together continuously, maybe 7 times each. Oh my god, that's it's crazy. But you know, it's determination, and they knew what they wanted, and they went for it. Okay, so once you have been able to conquer your language examinations, that's either English or French, if you can write both, fantastic for you. Your scores will go right through the roof. Now we'll talk about your academic qualification. Now this is another factor that usually stops a lot of people. The best thing you can have is to have a master's or a professional degree like pharmacy, medicine, law, engineering, because those things are evaluated like a master's as well according to the point-based system. But if you don't have a master's and you have a BSc, try and get a PGD or something, so that at least you can have more than, like, the way that it's graded. If you go to the CRS calculator, you understand what I'm saying. The way that it's graded is a bachelor's, then 2 or more degrees, then a master's, then a PhD. You notice that not say go and get PhD, because that one is a long term. So if you don't have a master's, you can get like a PGD, like a postgraduate diploma or something. If you have an HND, fantastic. Nigeria is the only place where they tell HND people that they are not good enough or not as good as BSc. According to the most of the examining bodies that evaluate results, an HND is evaluated as 2 certificates higher than a BSc, giving you better points. I'm telling you, this is the one time that you should be quite excited, because people who have HNDs get better points than people who have ordinary BSc, which is great anyway. So if you belong to a licensed body, like a professional body, you might have to use special bodies, like the pharmacists use the PEBC, doctors use the MCC, I think. If you are a lawyer, you can use the regular WES that most people use. There's WES, World Education Services, there's ICAS, immigration something, but there's a lot of them. If you need help with that, you can also send me an email. I'll talk to you specially about that. I don't want to drag the video. So once you've done that, you can now, once you have your IELTS or your language test results and your evaluation credential assessments, you can then create a profile on the CIC website. Then you get into something that is called a pool. We call it a pool. Some people call it the pool of Bethesda. It's very hilarious. But what happens is that every 10 days to 2 weeks, well, for a long time it's been every 2 weeks, every 2 Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, everybody's eager and waiting. There's a draw in the pool, and there's a cutoff point. So everybody above that cutoff point or on that cutoff point from a certain date or above that cutoff point gets given an invitation to apply. Once you get an invitation to apply, then you can apply. You can now start talking about all the things that you need to submit your application. But what I'll just say is that before you start the Canadian immigration process, as I said, your mindset needs to be in a good place. You can't be in a rush, because it's a system that works and you have to wait for it. So the second thing I'm going to tell you is that get your English studying in order. I usually advise people to do their credential assessment first, because that takes longer. Nigerian school palaver and all that. Basically, okay, I know some people asked me about cost. For the cost, I think the IELTS right now is I think we should talk about the cost breakdown and everything in the next episode. So that's all I have to tell you guys today about if you want to move to Canada and what you need to get ready for your application. Okay, so you guys follow the channel, subscribe, ask me questions that you want me to talk about in the next episode. I'll add all the links that I said. I'll also add my email, and what you guys will need, just tell me about it. Okay, bye.